Music is one of the most important forms of media, and the music choice in a movie or TV show can make or break a scene. Today, we'll be taking a look at a few of my favorite songs from cartoons that aren't the intro theme, because that would just be too easy and probably a topic for a different video entirely. All the entries on this list are original songs made specifically for or featured in the show, excluding Disney movies because there's a ton of those. It would just top the entire charts. So in no particular order, here's my personal top 10 original songs from cartoons. I'm your host, MattCMG, and without further ado, let's get weird, let's get wild, and let's get right into this. The Amazing World of Gumball is one of those shows where literally everybody relates to it. Kids, adults, boys, girls, everyone can find something in the show that they like. In the episode Make the Most of It, Gumball and Darwin start to go through puberty when they hear their voices start changing. To cope with their inevitable transition to adulthood, the bros rap about the wonders of being a kid. Now admittedly, a description of this does sound pretty cringy. I mean, think about it, anytime a show does a youth culture rap, it's usually old corporate white dudes trying to be hip. But in this case, it's actually pretty good. There's some decent bars in this, and it's quite relatable to kids who might be going through the same thing. The one thing I love about this episode in general was how meta it was. The entire point of this episode was how the old voice actors for Gumball and Darwin were getting too old for their roles, so the episode was a clever way to retire the old voice actors and bring in new ones naturally. I love me some meta references, so Make the Most of It rap gets a pass in my book. That, and it's just catchy as heck.
We enjoy it while we can, we enjoy it while we're kids, we enjoy it while there's still time to make the most of it.
If I'm being quite honest, I haven't cared for Adventure Time remotely in many years. The last time I watched the show unironically was the episode where Finn meets his dad, and that was quite a while ago, and since then the show has ended. I was never particularly a fan of the show when it was still airing, but there are still a few episodes that I can legitimately vibe with, and one of those episodes was the Season 3 episode, What Was Missing. I'm sure you were all expecting this one to show up on the list at some point, but in this episode, Finn, Jake, Princess Bubblegum, and Marceline have to sing a heartfelt song to open up a magic door, and their first attempt resulted in the song, I'm Just Your Problem. It starts off pretty chill until Princess Bubblegum decides to make a snide comment, then it turns really passive-aggressive where Marceline starts ranting about how she's treated differently by Princess Bubblegum. It's got those emo vibes, which works really well with Marceline's character. The vocals are fantastic, and that's Marceline's actual voice actor singing, so props to her. I think the thing that really stands out about the song, though, is the lyrics. It's basically the tamest yet most direct breakup song I've ever heard, and it's confirmed that Rebecca Sugar, who wrote this song for the show, wrote this after a breakup, so it's confirmed to be a breakup song. Like I said, I don't particularly care for Adventure Time, but this is a scene that I will occasionally go back to when I need a good metaphorical kick to the heart.
Why do I want to? Why do I want to?
Fairly Odd Parents is one of those shows that probably should have ended when we all thought it ended. I swear, there must have been like a 2-year hiatus between seasons and then this came out. However, in its overly long run, there have been a few songs that have stood out. Heck, they even did an entire musical special, though I can't say many of those songs were that good. However, a recurring character from the first few seasons was Chip Skylark, an obvious parody of boy bands at the time. You all know where I'm going with this one. My Shiny Teeth and Me. This song is so stupid in its premise, but it's so dang catchy. You just have to sing along every time. It sounds like it could have been made for like a Colgate commercial. It just has that kind of vibe. And honestly, it's impossible to listen to this song and not crack a smile. Trust me, I've tried. What I really like about this song, however, comes with the real-life application. This song is exactly 2 minutes long, which is the exact amount of time you should be brushing your teeth every day. If intentional, that was quite genius. I sing this song to myself in my head when I brush my toofs, so I know when to stop. Is that childish? Yeah, probably. I don't give a fuck. Rick and Morty isn't the kind of show that's known for its music, but when they do implement it, it's implemented quite well, such as the Evil Morty song for the Damaged Coda, or the one where Rick tries to commit suicide, Do You Feel It? When it comes to original songs, Rick and Morty has a few notable ones like Goodbye Moon Men and the notorious Get Swifty, but my personal favorite is Terry Fold from Season 3, Episode 6.
Hey, you mind if I put on some music?
Not at all.
Grab my Terry Folds.
It's a complete joke song with nothing but nonsense words, and I find it hilarious every single time I hear it, with it still being a genuinely good song. Justin Roiland's vocals are surprisingly good, with his sarcastic delivery being what really makes the song. Singing backup is Chaos Chaos, who you may remember from the aforementioned Do You Feel It, and their higher pitched voices really complement Roiland's very well. It adds to the hilarity of the song because of how they're such good singers, but their lines are like, touch my terry folds and stuff like that. Like, they're such dumb lines, but their performances sell it. Like, what even is a terry fold, or a terry flap, or whatever? They managed to take something so dumb as a throwaway joke and turn it into an unironically good song.
Suck my flaps, you piece of shit. Fuck you. You stupid dumb motherfucking bitch. Hey.
Say what you will about Teen Titans Go, but you have to admit that it has its moments. I pretty much only support this show's existence because it annoys classic Teen Titans fans, and I think the fanboy tears are still, to this day, hilarious. Anyways, I think one of the most redeeming qualities about the show is how the writers like to have fun with it, and a lot of that involves meta humor based on fan feedback. Originally, I was gonna put Catch It Villains by Chizzy Stevens from the episode TV Night 2, which was used in the episode to make a big meta joke about Beast Boy and Raven shipping, but then the Teen Titans Go movie came out. And with that comes our number 5 entry for today, Go, by Lil Yachty. I don't know who in their right mind thought that Lil Yachty, the same guy who was on record saying this,
Man, fuck them kids, bro.
would be a good fit to promote and advertise a movie aimed at children, but somehow it works. This song is very short and only gives Yachty a few bars for each of the 5 Titans, but I think they're each pretty good. I personally thought the Beast Boy verse, while kind of funny, was a little bit lazy, and I personally liked the Starfire verse the best because it was the catchiest. The movie also has their own version of the song performed by the team's voice actors, which is pretty cool, but I prefer the Lil Yachty version. I've gotten it stuck in my head on numerous occasions because of the way Yachty flows on certain bars. I'm not too familiar with Lil Yachty's body of work, but he's got skill, and I think he's stuck under that stigma of mumble rapper. The Teen Titans Go rap is probably the strangest entry on this list, but I think it's pretty lit, as the kids say. In its 20-year run, Spongebob has been super ingrained into everyday culture. More specifically, internet culture, and even more specifically than that, meme culture. There have been so many SpongeBob memes over the years, and a lot of them involve the music of SpongeBob. There's the party music meme, the Gary Come Home song, but the one I like the best and the one that gave me the idea for this video was that video from a few years back of 2 college kids performing Without You from the episode Welcome to the Chum Bucket. I was originally gonna put Sweet Victory from Band Geeks on this spot, which would have given me a perfect excuse to talk about the 2019 Super Bowl and why people got their panties in a bunch over something that was never officially confirmed to be happening in the first place, but as it turns out, that song was not made for the show. It was actually a pre-existing song that they used because they thought it would fit, so I'm gonna be omitting it here. Personally, I think Without You is one of the better songs from SpongeBob. You know how earlier I said that I'm Just Your Problem from Adventure Time is a great breakup song? Well, this is basically the post-breakup song. Now, I personally have never had this problem because I'm a disgusting virgin, but I can only assume that there's a brief period post-breakup where you're just kinda lost without your significant other, and this song perfectly embodies this with kitchen analogies. Maybe I'm looking into it too much because obviously in the show this is played for laughs because it is SpongeBob after all, but it makes more sense in the context of the episode. Overall, I think it's a great song that, while a little comedic, can definitely be very emotional depending on the context you listen to it in.
Without you.
A few of the entries on this list so far have been Cartoon Network shows, but Cartoon Network themselves have a pretty good track that some of you who are around my age might remember as Are You Seein' It? The song was an extended bumper that aired around 2008 to 2009, usually to fill time when they had extended commercial breaks after airing a movie or something. It's a hip-hop inspired song that basically just describes Cartoon Network's lineup at the time. It almost reminds me of Beastie Boys, just they go less hard. I remember seeing this on TV one time as a kid and I was like,
Hey, that's pretty good.
and I couldn't wait till they aired it again, which they rarely did. They normally aired it after movies if the movie happened to end at a weird time, so seeing it was a bit of a gamble. There's not really much to say about this song because it was just catchy. Not necessarily good, but it is by no means cringy, and whenever I look it up on YouTube for a quick nostalgia rush, it reminds me of a lot of the shows I grew up watching, and I get memories of the Friday night You Are Here block, where they had some of my favorite shows, Ben 10, Star Wars The Clone Wars. They even aired some Pokemon movies during this block. It was awesome. Every time I feel the urge to listen to this song, I can't help but white person dance all over the place.
Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this?
Okay, I have a bit of a confession to make. I haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse.
What the fuck?
Despite being a pretty big Spider-Man fan, I have this thing where I don't want to go to the movies by myself and don't have any friends that would want to go see Spider-Man of all movies with me, so I just didn't bother seeing it. I was the same way with Dragon Ball Super Broly, actually. Anxiety disorders aside, I might not be able to fully appreciate the number 3 pick in the context of the film, but Sunflower by Sway Lee and Post Malone from Into the Spider-Verse is a dang good song. Just to preface my choice here, this song was made specifically for the movie, it just blew up to mainstream appeal. As a big fan of Post Malone and someone who is somewhat familiar with Sway Lee through Ray Shremmerd, I gotta say that this is a great collab song. If you like this song, you might also enjoy their other collab song, Spoil My Night, off of Post's latest album. Anyways, Sway leads the track with a flow that, while not mind-blowing, works for the song. Post's verse is pretty similar, but I do like the way it starts off. I'm not sure how to describe it, but the first bars of his verse just sound really good, and I think Post's unique voice plays a large part in that. The hook is probably the best part of the song, both on Post and Sway's part. It's such a catchy hook that you find yourself humming it throughout the day, or at least I do. The song seems to be about a one-sided relationship, where the subject of the song is clearly more committed to the relationship than the other half. Again, I've yet to see Spider-Verse as of the making of this video, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it seems to also be symbolic of Miles Morales' relationship with Gwen Stacy, with one of them clearly being more into it than the other. And that's just about all I have to say about this song. Don't let the mainstream appeal fool you. This is a really good song, and if for some reason you haven't heard it, definitely give it a listen. Also, go see Spider-Verse legally, so we can get a sequel. Hashtag support animation.
You're the sunflower.
Alright, there was absolutely no way I couldn't include something from the Boondocks on this list. The Boondocks has so many good real-life songs in it, my personal favorite of the bunch being Guillotine Swords by half of Wu-Tang Clan. As far as music made specifically for the show, there's actually a lot to sift through, with 3 full mixtapes for each of the good seasons of the show. However, none of these tracks were used in the show, to my knowledge, so I'm gonna have to narrow this down a bit. One of the fictional rappers on the show is Thugnificent, who has several episodes dedicated to his rise and fall as a successful rap artist. Thugnificent pretty much embodies everything about rap culture, and that includes diss tracks. I was originally gonna put Booty Butt Cheeks on this list, but then I remembered the Robert Freeman diss track, F Granddad, performed by Thugnificent, with features from, get this, Nate Dogg, Snoop Dogg, and Busta Rhymes. As an old school hip hop fan, that's quite the lineup if I do say so myself. Nate Dogg, God rest his soul, absolutely kills the hook like he does on every single song he was on. I will stand by the statement that Nate Dogg was one of the best vocalists of our time. The dude was so smooth on every track he was on. The second and third verses of this song are from Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes respectively, and they sound just like they would on any other track. They're supposed to be playing characters here, but if I didn't know the context, I would have thought it was one of their albums, because they rap with the same conviction that they would on any of their own songs. My only complaint is that their verses are pretty short, but I guess some compromises had to be made to fit the song into the episode. This song brings me back to the old days of rap beef. Not that I was alive for many of them, but diss tracks back in the day used to be so much more clever and no punches were pulled, but nowadays I feel like nobody goes as hard anymore. This song truly embodies an era of rap beef that we simply won't get again. If the Boondocks had gone on for more seasons, I'd love to see how Thugnificent would react to the current rap scene, with mumble rappers and trap music being way more prevalent than lyrical rap these days. If there was any show to get these legendary artists on to do voices, I'm glad it was the Boondocks. That show went way too soon.
You done crossed the line. See, it don't cost a dime. Somebody toss my nine. I'm about to
That was crazy.
What in the hell was that?
From the minute I first watched Regular Show as a kid, I knew that it would be one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Everything about it is so clever and well made. I wouldn't say it's as expertly crafted as something like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's a fantastic episodic show that isn't specifically made for kids, but rather for a slightly older audience, that it's almost a shame that it had to end so soon. Better to die a hero than live long enough to see yourself become the villain, I suppose. Now, I'm not a huge fan of 80s music, but this show, alongside some others, has gotten me into it a bit. Regular Show heavily features a lot of 80s and 90s songs that really fit the show very well, like The Touch from the Transformers movie, Ain't Nothing But a Good Time. Heck, they even used Through the Fire and the Flames in an episode. However, since a lot of those songs were pre-existing songs that they used as inserts, they are disqualified from the list. The song we're talking about today is Party Tonight from the Season 1 finale, Mordecai and the Rigby's. This song is just so good. It starts off with some sweet guitar riffs that get you really excited, and it just oozes those 80s and 90s rock vibes. The lyrics are kinda cliche, but they actually flow pretty well. The lyrics themselves just scream lonely 20-something, and that's pretty much Mordecai and his pursuit of Margaret in the early seasons in a nutshell. The only thing I really don't like about it is J.G. Quintel's singing voice, which is a little flat, but otherwise pretty dang good. There's also a live action music video for this that Cartoon Network made, and it's super weird. Like, No, Muscle Man should not be live action, or any of them, for that matter. Everyone who said live action Sonic looked bad have clearly never seen this video. I'm a little bit salty there isn't an official full version of the song, because I think it would really benefit from one, and Cartoon Network's version on the YouTube video, it just does not cut it for me. It's way too short in my opinion. Party Tonight from Regular Show is definitely my favorite song from any cartoon, and you should totally go listen to it right now. So, those were my top 10 original songs from cartoons, and if I missed anything, then please let me know down in the comments because I'd love to hear some of your favorites. Now, I don't usually do this, but I have a proposition for you. If we can get 1,000 likes on this video, I will take a song of your choosing from this video and do a cover of it over on my second channel. That is a promise. I will hold myself to that. I've been MattCMG. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Surprise in your eyes as I kiss you goodnight. Your smile is the fire that rocks my soul. Gonna remember it until I grow old. Cause life is too short, we gotta do things right. So baby, let's just party tonight. Baby, let's just party tonight.